Would you please stand in reverence to the family?
I didn't know what to say, so I just hung up the phone. I took a walk to clear my head, and this is where the walk-in led. Can't believe you're really gone. Don't feel like going home, so I'm gonna sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear. And drink a beer. Funny how the good ones go too soon, but the good Lord knows the reasons why, I guess. And sometimes a greater plan is kind of hard to understand. Right now it don't make sense. I can't make it all make sense, so I'm gonna sit right here on the edge of this pier, watch the sunset disappear, and drink a beer. So long, my friend, until we meet again. I'll remember you and all the times that we used to sit right here on the edge of this pier and watch the sunset disappear, and drink a beer, drink a beer, drink a beer.
Good afternoon. We are gathered here today to pay tribute to the life of Roy Allen Goins Jr., better known as Junior, a cherished and loving son, brother, father, uncle, and dear friend. Today is not only a time to mourn his passing and reflect on his life, but it's also a time to celebrate him for who the person he was, and give credit to his accomplishments, his achievements, but most of all, the imprint that he has left on the hearts of so many. I know coming into this chapel and seeing this casket here is a hard sight to process, because the reality of Junior's passing has truly set in. I encourage you to allow yourselves to grieve. It's okay to cry. It is okay to let go and allow yourselves to mourn. But we must remember that we are not gathered in this place today to say goodbye to Junior. We are only gathered here to say goodnight. We find comfort in John 14, verses 1 through 3, that tells us, "Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in me, believe in God. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare that place, I will come again and receive you unto myself, so that where I am, you will be also. Let us pray. Father, we come to you in this time of sadness, asking for comfort, strength, as well as understanding as we gather here in this chapel to celebrate Junior's life. We ask that you would be here with us as we travel through this journey, as well as guide our steps along the way. It is this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. At this time, we will have our first song, Drowning.
Still got your number in my phone, and even though you don't know or listen, I still call and wait till the tone, just to hear you say leave a message. Since you've been gone, I've had to find different ways to grieve. There's days that I don't even want it on my mind, but tonight I'm weak, so I'm gonna pull out pictures, ones with you and laugh and cry a little while, reminiscing by myself. I can't help that all I think about is how you were taken way too soon. It ain't the same here without you. I gotta say, missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. I know you're in a better place, and one day I'll see you again, but it's killing me we can't be face to face. I miss my best friend, so tonight I'm gonna pull out pictures, ones with you and them, laugh and cry a little while, reminiscing by myself. I can't help that all I think about is how you were taken way too soon. It ain't the same here without you. I gotta say, missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. Yeah, tonight I'm drowning. I know it's a part of life, but I wasn't ready to say goodbye. So tonight I'm gonna pull out pictures, ones with you and laugh and cry a little while, reminiscing by myself. I can't help that all I think about is that you were taken way too soon. It ain't the same here without you. I gotta say, missing you comes in waves, and tonight I'm drowning. Yeah, tonight I'm drowning.
Three of Junior's sons are joining us via live stream from Florida, and I'm so glad you were able to attend today. But I hope it's all right that I found, when I was preparing for the service, I found this letter that said, a letter to my dad in heaven. Dear Dad, they say time will heal, but neither time nor reason will change the way I feel. Gone are the days that we used to share, but in my heart, you are always there. The gates of memories will never close, and I'm going to miss you more than anyone knows. I love you, Dad, and I will miss you every day until we meet again and are reunited for always and forever. At this time, we'll have our second song, Watching You.
town, just my boy and me, with a Happy Meal in his booster seat, knowing that he couldn't have the toy till his nuggets were gone. A green traffic light turned straight to red. I hit my brakes and mumbled under my breath. His fries went a-flying and his orange drink covered his lap. Well, in my 4-year-old said a 4-letter word. It started with S, and I was concerned. So I said, son, now where'd you learn to talk like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food and grow as tall as you are. We got cowboy boots and camo pants, yeah, we're just alike, hey, ain't we, Dad? I wanna do everything you do, so I've been watching you. Got back home and I went to the barn. I bowed my head and I prayed real hard. Said, Lord, please help me help my stupid self. Then this side of bedtime later that night, turning on my son Scooby-Doo nightlight. He crawled out of bed and he got down on his knees. He closed his little eyes, folded his little hands, spoke to God like he was talking to a friend. And I said, son, now where'd you learn to pray like that? He said, I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food and grow as tall as you are. We like fixing things and holding Mama's hand. Yeah, we're just alike, hey, ain't we, Dad? I wanna do everything you do, so I've been watching you. With tears in my eyes, I wrapped him in a hug. Said my little bear is growing up. And he said, but when I'm big, I'll still know what to do. 'Cause I've been watching you, Dad, ain't that cool? I'm your buckaroo, I wanna be like you and eat all my food and grow as tall as you are. By then I'll be strong as Superman, we'll be just alike, hey, won't we, Dad? When I can do everything you do, 'cause I've been watching you. Hey, yeah.
Roy Allen Goins, Jr. Age 32 of Portsmouth, Virginia, crossed over from this life to the next on Thursday, October the 22nd in Chesapeake. He was born in Elizabeth City, North Carolina on Sunday, December the 31st, 1989, to Roy Allen Goins, Sr. and Miss Rebecca Freeman. He worked as a landscaper and was known for his smile and one heck of a sense of humor. He had a big, loving heart. He loved fishing, camping, motorcycles. He just lived on the fun side of life. He was preceded in death by a brother, Dylan Goins, grandparents Jimmy and Mary Hewitt, as well as Gordon and Phyllis Freeman. He is survived by his father and stepmother, Roy Allen Goins Sr., and Sarah Dawn Hill Goins. His mother, Rebecca Freeman, 4 sons, Roy Allen III, Hunter Ryan, Charles James, and Blake Logan Goins. His sisters, Jatana Goins, Samantha Goins, Keely Statham, Kelsey Smith, Kayla Stitham, right? My bad. Kayla Stitham, Jeanette Green, Sabrina Bryant, 2 brothers, Charles Barnes and Danny Stitham, as well as numerous other loved ones and dear friends. How do you find the words to sum up the life of a person like Junior? We often find ourselves struggling in times such as these to find the words that would truly describe somebody like him. But if there's one word in the dictionary to sum up who he was, I think we would all agree that it'd be happy. Junior was the type of person you were drawn to. In times of sadness, he made you laugh, and no doubt had a smile that could light up any room, no matter the atmosphere. A loving son, brother, and father, he was well known for being the protector, but also a true kid at heart. Though he was the middle child growing up, he always seemed to be the one that was the protector. It didn't matter to Junior whether you were in the right or in the wrong. What mattered is the fact that you were his, and he wouldn't settle for anything less than you to be treated with the utmost respect. There were moments of stubbornness and definitely some hard-headedness. But one thing was for sure about Junior is that you could always count on him, and his word was his bond. Junior just had a way about him. He was never the type of cookie-cutter person. He lived life every day to its fullest without hesitation or second thought. A daredevil, if you will. If it had wheels, he could ride it. And somehow he was always able to figure out a way to break it. We're going to take a look. This will show you right here. Not going to lie, it looks like a blast. He was always having fun. Whether it be playing with his kids, riding ATVs, or having water fights with his nieces and nephews, he was always smiling. At family functions, Junior never sat at the adults' table. You'd find him in the kids section, laughing and cutting up with the rest of them, being an influence, probably getting in trouble. Let's take a look at his relationship with his nieces and nephews. Pretty sure a hosepipe is cheating. Growing up, it wasn't uncommon for him to talk you into doing some off-the-wall stuff. Whether it was wrapping his brother and a couple of the neighborhood kids in cellophane and leaving them there to figure out how to escape on their own, or talking you into going drainage pipe swimming, where apparently the suction power on this pipe was so strong it would suck you under and spit you out on the other side. Also, there was another time when Junior played football in high school. He would come home and make his brother put on his gear, and then would use him for tackle practice. And from what I've been heard is he hit him pretty hard, and one time hit him so hard all the gear came off. You just never knew what that boy was going to do, say, or come up with next. Junior has left an impression on the hearts of many people, some of whom are in this room and others are watching via the live stream. That imprint is made up of memories that you shared together, and not to mention that big old smile. Maybe a memory or two may have left some of us with some unfinished business, some disagreements that may have been left undone. But if there's one thing I encourage you to do, it is to leave those moments in the past. Leave it there and remember Junior for who he was and how much he loved you. If there's anything that Junior would want me to say on his behalf today to you folks, I believe it would be very simply, I love you. I'm going to miss you. I'll get things cranked up here in heaven, but you better be ready, because when you get here, we're going to show them how it's done. At this time, I'd like to invite anybody who would like to share a memory or two about Junior. You don't have to come up to the podium. You're welcome to stand where you are.
You're talking about the things that he's done and stuff. I think Junior was always definitely a funny guy. He had that going for him. He had just a charm about him. There was a time where him and Danny got into some trouble. It's like you said, he could talk people into doing things. Junior grabbed this little three-wheel tricycle and peeled off down the road running with it. And I'm telling you, he was gone. It was like you said, he could ride anything. It was like he was on his motorcycle and he couldn't find him. So, I don't know. I think just like you said, he always had a way of making people laugh. You know, Jana. You know, say something.
She gonna get you.
Come on. Oh, you know.
Well, Junior was outside playing in the treehouse, and I went outside to tell him it was lunchtime. Well, basically, I walked off with a black eye because Junior done docked me in my eye just for telling him it was lunchtime. But I love him.
I'd like to make an addition to my story, actually. We all went to the park, Jana, Samantha, Danny, Keely, Kelsey, all of us. We went to the park. Well, I was like 10 years old and had no business getting in this swing, but Junior thought it was a great idea and I should get in this baby swing. We ended up having to call the fire department, who had to get me out of the swing. So,
That's the day we went to the library and got over, 200 books? We checked them all out. Our influencer was right in line with us, though.
We had too much fun. It would be stupid one night. Decided to take the tractor and go down the main road. And not a smart thing to do, because some lights will show up you don't want showing up. It was no good time. Yeah, and that's about how most of our nights would end. And one of us would wind up going bye-bye with those lights about every time, because we didn't get along with them very well. They would say something, and we did not agree with it very well.
Junior said he was senior, and you said, no, you
Oh, yeah. And goofball that night, instead of me agreeing that he was junior, I said he was senior, vice versa, dumb crap. Every time we were together, something stupid happened with us. We always were doing something goofy. It had too much fun, because every time we were together, we were having fun. When we did wind up in trouble, it was always something fun while we were doing.
Now tell him the story about when you told him to pee in that cup for you.
The piss test, that don't work too good. Unless you want to violate permit. Unless you want to violate it, it's not fun.
Slow down. Tell him how you did it, though. You told Bubba, you said, Bubba, pee in that cup for me.
Yep, it didn't work good. And it was bad. He peed in the cup, and my probation officer said, "Sir, you're in trouble." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you got drugs in your system." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." I let him know when I got them in there. After that, I just had to tell her, "Well, it ain't my business, my brother." And it was okay. I still got in trouble, but I went bye-bye for a little bit. But I got out and still went right back down the phone with him, so I didn't give a damn. And we're always going to have fun.
Olivia would like to say something.
Oh.
Here, Liv.
You gonna tell him?
You tell me what
About the trampoline. He pushed your butt so high.
he pushed my aunt so high on the swing, it broke one of the poles of our trampoline.
You guys, anybody over there?
Sam, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Hand it over there since it's being live streamed so that the people can hear it.
Remember when we stole the car in Ranchland? Uncle James's car and got beat?
Okay, here you go. Here, Jim. No, Jack ran away with him. We don't need to know that story.
I want to know.
No, that's not
Him jumping out the window. Him jumping out the window.
Well, that's Charlie's story. I was in bed. I heard about this.
Yeah, right.
Cha-Cha, you want to say something?
Yeah, tell him about you running away.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely an influencer because I definitely ran away with him one time. I may or may not have snuck out to my old man's house now with him a bunch of times all the way through high school with that one right there too. And so, not Jatana, because Jatana was the innocent one that stayed at home and was always good and got us all in trouble. We all did it wrong. She did it right. We know. It's okay though. Come on, Bill.
Okay, so we went camping one time, right? And before I went to bed, I told him, I said, make sure you pick the trash up and, you know, the bag and put it on top of the van so the animals don't rip it out. And he says, okay, Dad, I got it, you know, no problem. So I went to bed. We had Bubba was a baby in our tent with us, and, you know, everybody else was in the big tent. So in the middle of the night, I had to go to the bathroom, so I went over by the van, and I was like, oh, man, he didn't put the bag up there. He didn't put the bag up there like I told him to. So I threw it up on top of the van. It made a noise, so Junior had to come and investigate, basically. So I ain't even thinking nothing of it. I went over there, and I was using the bathroom, and I was like, I heard a noise. I peeked around the corner of the van. I seen Junior coming. I was like, oh, I'm going to get him. So he's walking closer to the van, and I'm like, I start scuffling my feet, and I'm like, rrr. And he's like, oh, shit, it's a bear. So he went running back to the tent, and he tried to get in the tent so hard that he ripped the tent to get in there. And he got in there, and Megan was in there, and Sam was in there, and they're like, he's like, there's a bear out there. And I'm standing next to the tent right now, and I'm laughing, and I'm growling, and he's like, look, the bear's laughing at us. But yeah, he was a cornball.
Anyone else like to say anything?
Yeah, I carried them down to the beach one time with a bunch of Girl Scouts who were down there. I didn't get no sleep that night. I had him, Charles, my boy, and about 5 more. And believe me, I did not get no sleep. Them boys kept me awake all night long. Get back in the tent, boys. And that's the last time.
Anyone else?
I was going to say a big part of Junior's life was, and I want to thank her for it because she didn't have to do it, would be Kelly Gregory and Ernest, the part in time she spent in his life. And you got Elizabeth Green, and she didn't have to do what she done, spending parts in his life and taking good care of him and stuff, and he loved him dearly. And who else? And you know, people, he's had a lot of effect in people's lives, and he's always up to something. And you can ask Mr. Barnes over yonder about the plastic wrap. He'll tell you to hold you. Then another time they went out back, they set the whole backyard on fire. And they taught Charles was the youngest, it'll be all right, Bubba. You're the youngest, they ain't gonna do nothing but give you Yogi Bear talk. But all said and done, he's been a blast to be around. And we've had great times, and he wouldn't want nobody to be sad today. He'd want everybody to be happy. Because if he could walk through that door right now, he would make you that way. So he don't want you sad. He don't want nobody in here sad. Junior done what Junior done. Junior done it his way. And that's why I can appreciate it. And I can live with that.
Anyone else? Well, listening to all of these stories and then speaking with Mom and Dad and Tana, there's only one song that could sum up what Junior's doing up there, and that's giving heaven some hell.
Can't believe that you got me in a suit and tie. I had to take a pull so I wouldn't cry. You got a line out the church door saying goodbye. Yeah, I believe them when they say you're in a better place. You had a wild side, but you had amazing grace. I know you're way off up in them clouds, but if you could still hear me right now, I hope you hit those ghost streets on 2 wheels. I hope your mansion in the sky's got a 10-acre field with some mud and some hoods you can lock in. Make some thunder, make them wonder how you got in. Hide your beer, hide your clear from the man upstairs. Crank it loud, hold it down till I get there. And when I do, I hope you got some new stories to tell. Till then, give heaven some hell. I bet you're looking for a crew like we had. Bunch of noise-making boys that like to live fast. Burning rubber in a parking lot. Man, I don't know if the other side's ready or not, but I hope you hit those ghost streets on 2 wheels. I hope your mansion in the sky's got a 10-acre field with some mud and some hubs you can lock in. Make some thunder, make them wonder
think we'd all agree that he's up there doing just that. He definitely made some thunder and making them wonder how he got in. In closing, let us pray. Father, we thank you for the life of Junior Goins. We thank you for the time we had with him. But we'll be honest, we're jealous of you and the angels up there because you took him home so soon. We know you've definitely got your hands full up there since he arrived. But we ask that you continue to guide our steps as we continue down life's journey. May your angels wrap his children, family, and friends in their wings, giving them the reassurance that Junior's battle is over, and he is now at peace. We ask this in Jesus' name. At this time, we're going to have a special song and close out Junior's Way with Trashy Women. If you would please stand this time in reverence to the family.
Yeah, my taste in music and women drove my folks hag wild. Mom and Dad had a plan for me. It was debutantes and symphonies. But I like my music hot, like my women wild. Yeah, and I like my women just a little on the trashy side. When they wear their clothes too tight and their hair is dyed. Too much lipstick and too much rouge gets me excited, leaves me feeling confused. And I like my women just a little on the trashy side. Should have seen the looks on the faces of my dad and mom when I showed up at the door with a date for the senior prom. They said, well, pardon us, son, but she ain't no kid. That's a cocktail waitress in a Dolly Parton wig. I said, I know it, Dad, ain't she cool? That's the kind I dig. Yeah, and I like my women just a little on the trashy side. When they wear their clothes too tight and their hair is dyed. Too much lipstick and too much rouge gets me excited, leaves me feeling confused. And I like my women just a little on the trashy side. I like them sweet, I like them with a heart of gold. Yeah, and I like them brassy, I like them brazen and bold. Well, they say that opposites attract, well, I don't agree. I want a woman just as tacky as me. Yeah, I like my women just a little on the trashy side. Yeah, and I like my women just a little on the trashy side. When they wear their clothes too tight and their hair is dyed. Too much lipstick and too much rouge gets me excited, leaves me feeling confused. And I like my women just a little on the trashy